ounce for a residential cold brew, it's not like you got 12 ounces of coffee. You get a concentrate. It's very potent, more than an espresso shot. And then the rule of thumb is, so if I do a cold brew at the house, I have I got a lot of diner style mugs. It's basically 1 part cold brew, 2 parts either milk or water, so you would cut it. So at home, you could have your cold brew, which you do with a coarse grind. You steep it on the shelf like a tea, and then you got to move it into the refrigerator. And once you move it in the refrigerator, you have 30 days shelf life, because there's no preservatives and it's sugars and stuff. So you do have to move it in the refrigerator. And when you're ready, you take your cold brew out of the refrigerator, you can pour it right into your cup, 1 part, and then you can take your water into your bowl, and then you boil it right, and you fill it up just like you normally would, but you wouldn't have any mess. It's super clean. You're going to have it's rich in flavor and a lot of caffeine, and it'll be very low acidic, real smooth.
What's your ratio of grind and water when you're soaking them?
So, I do it at the shop. I do 5 pounds at a time. So basically, 5 pounds is 3.5 gallons of water, and you lose a gallon. And you get 2.5 gallons of concentrate. And then I'd have to Google it off the top of my head how many, because you start off with usually the ones they sell online are for 12 ounces residential. And I think it's, I can't remember how many cups that is that you use for residential, but you do 12 ounces at a time, a whole bag. I think we did this once. Did we look at this? Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. What's like a gallon?
And then, but you don't, what you put in, you lose. You don't get all that back.
And you can definitely tell the difference in the caffeine between the iced coffee and the hot.
And then what's kind of, you do some fun stuff. So on this dark roast, so this is, I'm gonna have chocolate. So you could take some fresh, a couple mint leaves from your garden, put that with your cold brew, and you steep it together, and you almost got like a chocolate mint. And the goal is just to have the mint just barely in the background, so it's not overpowering, still coffee, but you just get this kind of little mint chocolate. On a full city or something that's fruity, you can take some orange peel zest and steep that at the same time, and you almost got like this bourbon kind of taste. It's a lot of fun. But you
I have
can
some friends from New Orleans, and they use chicory.
chicory, yeah, you can do chicory, yeah. So you can do that.
It's good stuff.
So how do you store coffee? Like if I buy a bag?
Okay, when you buy a bag, these bags, ours have a degasser valve. So if you don't see a degasser valve on the bag, yeah, that's really old coffee. I wouldn't even buy it. Fresh coffee, it's going to degas. It's for at least the first 48 hours a lot. But if I did not have a degasser valve, my bags would all be inflated and some could even pop. So old coffee, really old coffee, goes in bags with no degasser valve. So if you're looking to buy some coffee and you see that there's a degasser valve, so at least you know that they're roasted fresh, put in this bag. Most bags are foil, so they block it from sunlight. They're not going to let any oxygen get in. It only lets gas out, but no oxygen in. Those are 2 enemies for your coffee. When you get home, a lot of times, you can leave it just in the bag, and you just leave it at room temperature, out of sunlight. You can put it in the pantry. You don't want to put it in the refrigerator or in the freezer. It's real easy to infuse coffee. So at the shop, I have some wine barrels from William Chris Vineyard. I roast coffee, I age it in the barrels, and then in 2 weeks they're infused. They get to pick up wood notes, the oak from, you get have American oak or French oak, and they also will pick up some of the wine notes, even though there's no wine and coffee, they never touch each other. But that would happen if you put your beans in the freezer. You got fish in there, you got vegetable in there, frozen pizza. It'll start to absorb those flavors. So coffee should be in the trunk of the car, should get hot, it's room temperature, out of light, not in the freezer, anything where it's going to be infused. A lot of times people will have a real cute mason jar, and they would like to have it. This is a pretty big one, so at home I would never have this much in there because it's got air coming in, it's not completely sealed. I just brought this here for showing purposes, so at the shop I don't leave it like this. And then I got sunlight coming in here. But if you have a mason jar that you really like and it's just part of your routine, I would just put a par of what you need for like a week or less in your mason jar, and then keep, so if you bought a bigger bag, put just a week's worth on your counter, and keep the bag in your pantry.
you put your roasted beans in like a Mylar bag and put an oxygen grabber in there, it keeps her.
We get fancy, and then we're talking about a fused coffee. This is Applewood smoke, so you pass these around. So,
Either an oxygen grabber or a nitrogen purge on it would keep her a year.
So when you roast coffee, usually what they'll, a big roaster now will put 6 months on a bag. So from the day they roast it, where they feel like the peak time went in, and I brought, I had a dark roast open, about, I might have left it at the shop. I wanted to smell a chocolate roast. It's this one. Do you have scissors? I ground this one. I just resealed it for something. So that's Applewood smoke. So the goal there is that if you use a fruit wood, you get a natural fruitiness from the smoke. So you wouldn't want to use mesquite, anything like that. You almost get like this, like a Chardonnay that's over oaked. If you use a fruit wood, you get a natural fruitiness from the wood. And then we flash smoke it, and I used Central American beans, and we did the right. We kind of kiss that second crack where the beans are real fruity and have the citrus, and you get the flavor lock. So the goal is to get the sweetness from the smoke, the flavor lock, the fruitiness from the coffee. And it's kind of like they call it cowboy coffee. So a lot of times the cowboy and rancher, they would roast their coffee over a skillet and pick up smoke characters. So you want a little bit of that characteristic, but you don't want it to be a campfire. And then this one, it's just a dark roast that I roasted and I ground, just so you can kind of smell what a full body coffee. And a lot of times we smell chocolate now, we'll taste it later. That's right. So that is Costa Rica. So that's a single origin, Costa Rica, all from one farm, not blended. So you can sell it. I mean, it's got some nice notes all by itself. And then I haven't, since we've been talking, I haven't left my coffee. Just kind of sit up here. But I don't know, do you may have any coffee left? You drank it all? Because this is about when it drives my wife crazy. Because she's like, are you done? Are you not going to drink the coffee? I thought we'd have coffee together, while the kids are sleeping. But I'd like to let it get cold here.
Sometimes a cup of coffee for me might take me 5 hours to drink it.
So I would say this one passed the test. A cold coffee never lies, because I can taste it, it dissipates, and it's just real clean, real smooth. Right now, if I were to taste something, I would make a little mental note on the roast on the next one, what I'm going to do, and I would recup it, and I would wait until it got cold and see if I fixed it.
I'm always forgetting my coffee cup somewhere in the house, and by the time I find it, it's cold, but I should just go ahead and appreciate it. So how do you spell the coffee, Chemex? K-E-M-M-E-X?
Chemex is C-H-E-M-E-X. Chemex.
How does it spell?
C-H-E-M-E-X. Chemex, like a chemistry medicine.
You should be able to Google it.
Yeah, well,
And then
I started with a K, so that
And then when you look at that Chemex, you're going to be able to see that it comes in different serving sizes. And when you're making a pot of coffee at home, I've noticed if you make 4 cups, 6 cups, 8 cups, 12 cups, it's slightly different. And I just feel like that 8 cup is a real nice sweet spot. It's just, if you go a little more, sometimes it's a little diluted. If you go a little less, you get some more body, mouthfeel. But that 8 cups is just a real nice classic coffee. So when you're looking at the Chemex, I would make sure you had up to 8 cups, but you wouldn't need one necessarily that was larger.
I cheat. As soon as I get a cup full, I'm on it.
So I have that craft there. We'll make 2 pots of coffee, and I have a coffee maker that'll make a whole craft at a time. But I taste the difference from a big batch versus a small batch. And we also have the percolators that will do a pound of coffee at a time, 80 cups of coffee for big events. And, but I don't like the product that you get when you make such a big batch. So a lot of times on those, I don't use the percolator to make the coffee. I do the cold brew, so I do 1 part cold brew, the filtered water, and plug it in an hour before the event so it's hot. And that way I know it's clean and smooth. And
So
it
you
works.
So how much coffee per cup? How much?
Okay, so there's a definition, and usually 2 ounces for 8 cups. So if you have a scale at the house, a little digital scale, it's kind of nice to train yourself just to see what that looks like. And then my wife is strictly by the eye. I always want to make sure I make the same cup every time. But it's 2 ounces for 8 cups. If you like a little bit more body, more mouthfeel, still the 2 ounces for 6 cups. But a classic coffee would be the 2 ounces for 8 cups.
So I was gonna ask, kind of like with the cold brew, I'm kind of really agree with that.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna make cold brew out with my Chemex,
We wouldn't really necessarily use a Chemex. So there's you can buy like a Toddy, DDY, TO, and on the Toddies, what they'll do is you get a couple filters. So you get kind of like a cheesecloth filter. Usually there's 2 types of filters where you just kind of filter it twice to get your extract. And if you did it with the Chemex, it'd be tricky because you could, but
well, I've got one of those little stand-up deals from Costa Rica, that little wooden thing that has the cheesecloth filter that
Right.
you just pour it into your cup.
oh yeah,
And it's a perfect.
yeah. You just do a cup at a mug at a time.
Yeah.
And usually on those, if you're a little scooper, usually it's an ounce. 3 scoops, because each scoop's about a half an ounce usually. So if if this is 7 ounces, you do 2 scoops. If it was bigger, a scoop and a half. If get some of these really big mugs, you do 3 scoops.
But the toddy, what did you call it?
Toddy is you could Google Toddy, and the Toddy will allow you to cold brew system at home with usually they'll sell as a package where you get your filters and give you little instructions and usually 12 more hours on the counter, 12 hours in the refrigerator, but you at least want to get 24 hours. And then once you're done, you can actually leave it on the beans, and you don't have to drain it. Just let it continue to steep. And then what I like to do, just so easy, I put my cold brew in there, and I just take fresh milk out of the refrigerator, I just top it off and I fill the whole thing with milk, and it's just so smooth. Oh, that's great.
Anyone else? Well, I think we have clearly a Fredericksburg creative genius.
They're too sweet.
And we thank you for being here. It's been so enlightening and inspiring. And you're welcome to mingle and carry on. And
Yeah, we got any questions up here? I'll answer
Yeah.
any questions, and then one thing I didn't talk about was real quick, our roaster, which I'm real proud of. So we have an infrared burner, which you don't really see too often. And that's handmade in Sandpoint, Idaho, by a guy named Steve Dietrich. Steve Dietrich was born and raised in Seattle.